Hey guys, hope you're well. Hope you've had a good week so far. Change of surroundings. I'm not at work at this moment in time, so I thought I'd send in a video. Unfortunately, couldn't get to the preview earlier in the day. I'm feeling like shit, to be fair. So just thought I'd do a video tonight for you guys. We got Portsmouth this weekend in the fourth round of the FA Cup. It's a massive game. For me, shows what we're about in terms of character of the players. Can they stand up when the good isn't going? Portsmouth are going to bring it this weekend. They'll have seen our result, probably watch the game, I imagine, and seen how frail we are at the back. Changes need to be made. We can't keep allowing the same players to keep making the same repeated mistakes and still play 90 minutes. It's not acceptable for me. Players need to know that they can't play like that and get away with it. I would have made changes anyway, regardless of the result on Tuesday, but even now, it's even more so important. Good chance for some of the lads around the fringe of the squad to prove that they're good enough to come in. There'll be a lot of lads that weren't involved in the squad on Tuesday that'd be thinking, well, I could have played a little bit better. Players like Dimitri Cavare, Danny Pineos, even TM. Them are three players that probably arguably could have done a better job than some of them lads that were out there on Tuesday. Especially Cavare and Pineos with the experience that they bring compared to the two lads that were playing at full back. Yeah, Cavare's attitude is questionable, but once he's firing, we know what he's capable of. So they're probably going to be sold, them three players, but when we've got three players on the pitch, they're arguably worse than them three players, even though I don't rate TM. I think his fitness is to be questioned. Then that is a concern for me. Yeah, I know some certain managers have players that they prefer, and we're going down the youth route. But there's players that aren't starting that are probably better than players that were on the pitch, or at least they'll be asking questions. If I was a player of the football club on Wednesday morning, first thing I'd have been doing is knocking on Struber's door saying, come on, you got to include me after watching that shower of shite last night. I'm sure most of you had watched that video that I did on Tuesday night. I still fully 100% stand by what I said. I thought it was an appalling performance, if you can call it performance. Preston wanted it more. And it was a sign of a team that really we should be aspiring to be, believe it or not. I know they're not Real Madrid or anything like that, but in terms of the way that they sustain the club, they spend wisely. When they do spend, they bring players in. They don't spend over the odds, as we keep saying. We're not obsessed about spending money, but when they do spend players in, they spend players. They spend money on players that they know they're going to make a difference. Look at Bauer from Charlton on Tuesday. He looked so assured at the back. Somebody that's ready to come in from League One into the Championship and make a difference. They've got a good young midfield, complemented with a bit of experience in the side, like Sinclair, Ben Pearson, Barqueezen, David Nugent coming on. They're the sorts of clubs that are not a massive difference in terms of history, in terms of the attendances every week, in terms of recent history. Preston and ourselves have more or less been in the Championship together for a long time. I know we've dipped in and out last few years, but we should be looking up at them as a setting, something to achieve to. People are going to say, what you're on about? Well, at the end of the day, look at what they're doing. It's working. What are we doing is not working. It's the third season in a row where we're gambling. Last season we got it right, but we didn't nearly get it right. We got over the line, we got the job done. But again, recruitment, I keep going on about it. It's made something that could have been backing Stendhal at the start of the season, keeping the players, offering a vision of where the club wants to go for the next 4 or 5 years. But we sell as captain, sell as striker, sell as two centre defenders. We let a squad player go in Adam Jackson that's better than the players that's been brought in. And we're worse in this league than we are in League One. Fair play to Struber. He's got a tune out of players. I would say a good 75-80% of them squad are not good enough for this league. And we're still 22nd in the league. We're a lot better than we were a few weeks ago. I get that. In terms of November, we were 8 points off. We're only 4 points off now. But it makes the next couple of weeks. That performance was a game where we needed to show some bollocks and get in the trenches. We knew it weren't going to be easy, as we saw early in the season. Preston absolutely licked us, and they did it again on Tuesday. It could have been 4 or 5 if they really wanted to. We never looked like scoring at all. Probably Chaplin it first 5 minutes when he had that one-on-one. He should have really buried that. If you need to take your chances, even if they're half chances, because that was the only one for me that was like a concrete chance in that game. So in terms of transfers, we're looking at Michael Solbauer, aren't we? Centre defender, 29. Sure, John Candy will be having a fit about that. That's probably why it's not gone through yet. Can we get somebody that's 18 instead to come in? I think if he does come in, hopefully hits the ground running. Again, hopefully he knows Struber's style of play. We need a defender regardless. And I stick by what I said. We should have got somebody on New Year's Day for the Derby game. We've seen all throughout the season that centre defence is an area of concern. We keep making the same mistakes over and over again. How many times can we keep giving these players chances without saying, look, you're not good enough, we've gave you 4, 5, 6 months to get better under 3 different coaches and you're still appalling. So you're going to have to be behind in the pecking order for a while now. So we could have got a loan in. If we're struggling, well, we're not struggling for money, but in terms of if they don't want to put their hand in the pocket, we could have got a decent loan in till the end of the season, and we could have got a defender in already. Fingers crossed we can get this Solbauer deal over the line. At least it might get completed. I thought it was going to be done and dusted today. Apparently we're having a medical this afternoon, but the club's being quiet on that. Hopefully he can come in for next week at Charlton. I won't play him at Portsmouth. I'd get him integrated into the squad and play him at Charlton away if that's his first game. Get him used to the lads and things like that. Get him settled in. Still need a striker. Target man ideally. I feel something that's a plan B. We look one-dimensional at times still going forward. We pump the ball long when we've got Connor Chaplin, who's 5'3". Well, it looks that size anyway from where I'm stood. And he's competing against lads that are double size of him. Brown is trying his best up front, but that's not his game, and we're pumping it long. And then when we're playing players that are tall in the team, we play it on the floor. So I'm just going on and on here, but I'm just disappointed. I'm just frustrated at the recruitment side of things. I just think it's totally preventable what's happened. And yeah, some of the players that's come in's done really well. Chaplin, Halme up until the last couple of weeks I thought's done okay. Radlinger, debatable. Collins, I think's, for me, he should be in on Saturday and also for the next few weeks after that performance from Radlinger on Tuesday. Should have saved the third goal for me. It's soft as shit. He's just let the ball run through him, and he don't command his area enough, and he looks like a liability at the back. His distribution's awful. It takes too long, or he gets us in trouble all the time. Him and Anderson and Almer on Tuesday, I didn't know what were happening, to be fair. It were like Benny Hill show at the back. But we move on, and hopefully that performance, if you can call it performance, has given the lads on the fringes a chance to prove themselves, like I said earlier on, and we can come back and show what we're about, give them fans that are going down to Portsmouth something back after Tuesday. Unfortunately, I'm not going. It's expensive as it is for a match ticket, and then you're looking at the day out, which is 20 odd quid travel, maybe more, in the car, and we've got 4 or 5 long away days in the league that I've already put my money behind, so I'm not going to Portsmouth. I know Luke and Steve will be going, but the players need to give something back to the fans on Saturday that make that trip down there. It's going to be a tough game. Portsmouth got to win on Tuesday in the is it Leesons.com trophy. Got to win. McGeehan scored. I'm sure he'll be telling them all about our frailties in defence this week, and it's going to be a tough game. They've only really lost Jamal Lowe and Matt Clark. They've kept Pittman, that's still a decent player at League One level. Marquis, as we know, at Doncaster, got goals for them. Ronan Curtis is a good player at that level. Christian Burgess at the back. They've got some good players in the side. Portsmouth, for me, should be really top 6 playoffs at least in League One end of the season. As we knew last season, they were a tough team to play. 2-0 draws in them games. So we know what they're like. We know that they're going to be combative, and we've got to be up for the fight. They're going to have a big crowd, I imagine. They always do at home. On a Saturday afternoon, they'll be looking to get a good draw in the 5th round, home game. Seeing our result on Tuesday, and it's a good time to play us. But when we played Bristol City, when they lost in the cup to Shrewsbury, it could also be a blessing in disguise for us to bounce back and prove the doubters wrong. So for me, the team would be Collins in goal. I think Radlinger's performances, well, on Tuesday, for me, he shouldn't be starting. We can't keep playing players that keep making the same mistakes or keep getting us into trouble every week. Collins, for me, was solid at Bristol, to be fair, and I think he was solid at Crewe, and he should come in. And we need players to realise that if you play like that, you know, you don't deserve to start. Left back for me, if Odawar's fit, getting back in. I just think we need to, I think we need to win this game just to get some positivity back into the place. Because after that Tuesday game, it was gutting. The atmosphere around the ground was like being on the moon. So Odawar at left back, I think he offers you more from set pieces. He's more defensively solid. He's the best left back we've got that's in contention. And if not, to be fair, I'd even consider Pinios at left back, but we know he's not been in Struber's reckoning. You know, he's a lot more experienced, he's composed than some of the options that we've got there. Even put him on the bench, just the influence in the dressing room. He's not great going forward, and he did look iffy the last time he played, but fucking hell, you know, if we were just going to judge him on one game like 4 or 5 months ago, you know, it's not fair for me. And he has been training, because I've seen pictures of him that the club's put up. He's been training. So I'd get him in, fair enough, if we're going to let him go. But even if we just use him for a game, it just makes us a little bit better. Even if we get him on the bench, it just makes us a bit stronger, I feel. On the bench, we're very light on the bench at the minute. So that's the left back position. Centre halves, well, we ain't got much of a choice really, have we? With Bambo been out. So it's probably going to go Halmer and Anderson, because Civic for me ain't good enough. Again, we're letting Anderson start a game. Not good enough for me. Not good enough for me. He's had long enough now. Expectations of the fans should be better to allow players to start. But we all know that he's not good enough. I don't know who scouted him. I want to know and ask him a few questions. But we've got to have better standards. We've got to have better standards in the players that we play. It's not acceptable. It's not good enough. You know, I'm fed up of being a yo-yo club all the fucking time. I'm fed up of going up, going down. I know it's only happened the last few years, but we know it could go either way this season. It shouldn't have been like this, but anyway, I'm going on one anyway, because it's just in a bit of a fucking... just feel a bit shit about where... I know I've got a feeling where it's going to end up, to be fair. We're not going to get the players that we need. And probably one of Woodrow moments going to go. I've just got a feeling on deadline day it's going to happen. I've just said that we've had this before, haven't we? Every January window something happens. Anyway, them two at the back. Right back. God. In an ideal world, I'd start Cavari if his attitude was right, but he's not going to, is he? So probably going to be one at Ludwig or Williams. He might start Ludwig, give Williams a rest, because I think Williams he tried to. I think he was better at left back, to be fair, when he switched at half time, but still defensively he's so soft, like a fucking whippy. He's so fucking soft, man. Midfield, Dougal as the holding midfielder. If Woodrow's fit, get him back in, get him some minutes. I want to win this game. Yes, the league is the bread and butter, and people are going to say, well, you said on Tuesday go out the cup, but on reflection, we need the win. We need to get back to positivity, get winning mentality back in, get some mentality and good mentality and positivity out of Charlton. That is the biggest game now. That is the fucking massive game, that. If we lose that, I don't know what will happen. But we need Woodrow back in. We need him match fit. We need him getting going again. I know people say, well, don't risk it, blah, blah, blah. Well, if he gets us a goal in first half, then bring him off. Do you know what I mean? And then he can bring other lads on. So Mowat as well with Woodrow, and I would start with Thomas. I think give Ritzmaier a rest. I think Thomas offers you more in terms of his direct pace, running at defenders. His decision making's got to be better, though. It's got to be better. He's going to get on the edge of an area, and he's got a really good left foot on him, and he doesn't use it. He passes, shirking responsibility onto someone else. He needs to take a bit of responsibility. He's a young lad, yes, I get it, but you're a professional footballer. You've been put in that position. You've got to do your job properly. For me, you don't care how old you are. And up front, Chaplin and Brown, I'd start. Bench would probably be Walton, Sibic, Ritzmaier, Ben Williams, Simoes, Schmidt, Styles. I'd even possibly start Styles as well over Thomas. I thought Styles did okay when he came on, to be fair, on Tuesday. So they're the sorts of subs I'd pick. In terms of the Bambo situation, I mean, it's hard to really talk about it when we don't know what the actual situation is. If the club have known about it for a while, if it's been since the Blackburn game, how long have they known about it? These are the questions we need to be asking. How long have the club known about it? If they knew that Bambo could possibly get suspended, why have we not got a defender in? Well, we already need a defender even if Bambo was here. Why have we not just got a loan in to cover that area if we're struggling to get somebody on a permanent deal that's going to take a little while? If we knew that Bambo's going to be out of action. If he has taken stuff illegally and he knows the rules, then he should be banned and we should rip up his contract. I'm not having anybody cheating in our club. It's not the way that we're about. It's not exactly performance enhancing, is it, whatever he's took? So, you know, I hope he clears his name because I don't like, you know, he seems like a good fella, seems, you know, pretty straight up as far as I can see from the way that he conducts himself off the pitch on Instagram and social media and all that stuff. He seems quite an humble guy. So I hope it's just something that's just a bit, something that he can explain. I'm sure he'll have to get involved and prove his innocence and stuff to a panel and all that crap. But I hope he can clear his name, and as you know, until proven guilty, we support him, don't we? But if he is proven guilty, you know, then I'd get rid of him straight away, rip up his contract by mutual consent, and get somebody else in. Transfers, we've already spoken about who we need in. There's players that keep getting bought by other clubs, and I keep thinking, no, they'd do a job for us. Gary Medine gone to Blackpool, I think he'd do a job for us. You see Bailey Wright going to Sunderland, I think he'd do a job for us from Bristol City. Stearman going to Huddersfield, King going to Huddersfield. People are going to say, well, we're not going to buy these players. Well, we need to. Well, it's not working, is it, at the minute with the players with this age structure? It's clearly not working. We're 22nd in the league for a reason. If we had a bit more composure and experience and a bit more structure, Barters with their experience brings, and game management in games over the course of the season, I imagine we won't be where we are, but we are. We've got to get on with it. We've got to stop feeling sorry for ourselves. The players have got to get their heads ready for Saturday, because if we lose on Saturday or we lose heavily on Saturday, then massively disappointing. If that's the case, hopefully we can win. I wouldn't be happy with a replay because it's just another game for us to play. We've got a lot of long away games and we want to make sure the squad's not exactly big as it. So if we've got a replay, obviously I don't want us to lose. So if we have a replay and we've got a decent performance, then fair enough. Portsmouth's a long way to go. It's a tough place to go. It's intimidating at times. They've got a decent home record this season at home at Fratton Park. We've come off a bad result. They've won on Tuesday. So they'll be hoping to get an upset, and I won't be surprised if it happens because they're a decent side. So it's not an easy draw for us. I'm sure it's a game that both sets of fans not really looking forward to, but seeing Portsmouth seeing our result on Tuesday, I'm sure they'll be looking at a fifth round tie and hopefully getting one of the big boys, but hopefully we can do the same. Be nice to get a decent team or a big team in the fifth round of Premier League side. Be nice for the fans and also for the players. But focus for me is Charlton and getting the right players in now. Don't be waiting to the final day. We saw with the McBurney issue a few years ago in the summer deadline. It went through. We had a couple of players under Heckingbottom. I think we had 4 or 5 signings that went through, that could have gone through. And we saw what happened that season onwards. So we need to make sure that we get the right players in. For me, as Craig said in his preview, we need a right-sided midfielder, a box-to-box midfielder that can go up and down. We've got too many left footers in that team because I think as midfield was soft on Tuesday, and I think we need a bit more strength in depth there. A striker, I'd have a right back in, to be fair, because I think we still look weak as fuck there. If they're selling Cavani, we still look weak. That Ludovic, I know that was his first full game, but he just looked at times. We need a strong out-and-out right back, somebody that's not scared to put a tackle in. To be fair, he's only 19, so maybe I'm being a bit harsh on him, but what I'm trying to say is we can't become good in 2 or 3 months. This stage of the season, where we are in the league, we can't be having that. It's all right if you're top 6, you can get away with it if you're a squad player, but we've got to be having players that come in, hit the ground running. As Struber said, they've got to be coming in championship ready. Being linked with Ben Whiteman, who's a Doncaster midfielder, for me, he's a decent player. I've seen him in League One, he looks like a decent player. I'd have him compared to somebody that we've never heard of before. He knows the English league, he knows what to expect moving up to the Championship. Those are the sort of players we should be going for. If we're not spending much money, but we're going to be competing in the lower leagues rather than National League, let's look at those top end League One players that can come in, that they've got a chance of playing Championship football, the chance of playing Championship football the start of next season. They're going to get regular game time. We should be looking at these sorts of lads. Tyler Walker at Lincoln as well, that Luke mentioned on Tuesday, would be another good option. Get players that are in form, hit the ground running, rather than relying on players that it's a gamble. They're not playing in this league before. It's going to take a while for them to get used to the tempo and standard of the league, the pace of the league. As we saw on Tuesday with Ritzmaier and Ludwig, they seem to be a bit slower, the reaction times, and it's a tough league Championship. So why are we not having lads that's at least had a little bit of experience to come in? If Strube was saying that in the press conference, then we should be backing up with the recruitment side of things. We can't be saying one thing and then doing another. I'm not having a go at Strube, I'm just saying that's just the way we're going to go. If we're saying them things, we're going to back it up. So Saturday, scoreline for me, I'm going to go with a draw. I don't think we're going to win. I hope we do, but I just don't think. I think it's a tough place to go, Portsmouth. I'm looking at Tuesday's result, and I'm looking at their result, and I'm looking, there's a long way to go. I'm looking at the fact that he'll probably more or less keep the same side. I don't think he'll change loads. I hope he does, and I hope he goes with a similar side to what I've said. Get some lads in who haven't played much, give them a chance. Likes of Styles, likes of Simowes. You know, if he's including them, give him a chance, because fucking hell, you can't do much worse than Tuesday. You know, I hope the lads bounce back. I hope they do. You know, I hate it when I have a go at him. I don't want to have a go at him, and I hate it when I do. I want every player that plays for the club to succeed, but when they're not good enough, or when the performances aren't good enough over a period of time, you've got to call it out. You can't keep saying that these performances are acceptable, because then you get a mentality of mediocrity. You've got to have a mentality that you've got to be doing better. We're a Championship team. We should be acting like one in every manner. So scoreline for me is going to be 1-1. I hope we can win. That's just the way I'm seeing it. I don't think we'll win. I mean, I hope I'm proven wrong, but I see a draw on Saturday with Portsmouth where they are in the league, in their league, and also they're a tough team to play. They haven't lost many of their players from last season, and they were a tough place to go last season in the league when we drew 0-0. Davis saved us there with a second half penalty save, didn't he? So it's a tough place to go, and it's a quick turnaround. And we've got a light squad. We haven't got a massive squad, so we haven't got that much strength in depth to choose from. I hope I'm proven wrong, and I hope that we win 2-3-0. Obviously, I hope we get a win. Of course I do. But I'm just expecting a draw on Saturday. So thanks for watching, guys. Don't fucking murder me in comments. I'll just say it as it is. I don't like to say things just for effect. If I say how I feel at that time, if you don't like it, don't watch it. Do you know what I mean? But don't be... Fucking hell, don't be fucking ripping me in the comments. It's just how I feel this time. I pay my hard-earned money. I'm frustrated the way the club is at the minute. I'm frustrated with what's happening. I know it's only one game, but it just brings up all the issues that were happening before, and what we need to do I want us to be better. I want us to be a better football club in every aspect. Of course, I don't want this board to fail. I want this board to succeed. I want this board to help us out. But when they're not doing the job properly, you call it out. You can't keep letting people get away with things. So, there we go. Right, guys, I hope you have a lovely rest of your week, and I'll speak to you later. Take care, guys.